The Ukrainian Armed Forces are not only effectively holding back the occupiers, but are also, if possible, going on the offensive. Ukrainian defenders are conducting a maneuverable defense. This was stated on air by Vladislav Voloshin, a representative of the Southern Defense Forces. According to him, despite the difficult situation in some areas of the front, Ukrainian units are active. In particular, when a tactical opportunity opens up, the defense forces conduct counter-offensive actions and push the enemy back to less advantageous positions. In some cases, Ukrainian soldiers even manage to liberate populated areas temporarily occupied by the enemy. We are conducting a maneuverable defense, and when possible, we counterattack and conduct small counter-offensive actions, for example in other directions. And the Commander-in-Chief reported that we liberated some settlements and pushed back the enemy in certain positions. Voloshin said. The Defense Forces spokesman also reported that Russian troops are having difficulty moving personnel, assault units and equipment to the front lines. As a result, the occupiers cannot carry out offensive operations with the same intensity as before. That's why when we conduct active defense, we don't allow this to happen, Voloshin added. Ukrainian defenders are making progress at the front. In particular, the fighters have liberated the village of Andreevka in Sumy Oblast. The settlement is under the control of our military. This is reported by DeepState. Now the settlement is marked on the map in blue instead of red. Analysts note that the Ukrainian Armed Forces managed to stabilize their left flank. The report says that the 225th Separate Assault Regiment, after lengthy battles and measures to clear Russian troops in the village, managed to take control of the village. These actions succeeded, firstly in diverting forces from other villages since the enemy had dug into Andreevka. Secondly, in stopping further advancement toward the important settlements of Khoten and Pisarevka, the analysts emphasized. At the same time, the enemy also has successes in the Sumy region. The enemy advanced near Privolnoy and in Shevchenko, the report says, but in some areas Russians flee from Sumy.
Israel launched large-scale attacks on Iranian capital Tehran on Monday, striking military targets with unprecedented force. The Air Force has now begun a wave of attacks against military targets in Tehran, said the Israeli Air Force, as the hostilities between the two countries enter the 11th day. Facilities of Islamic Revolutionary Guard, known as Sepa, are said to be struck in the attack. Defense Minister Israel Katz said in the statement issued by his office that the IDF is currently striking with unprecedented force regime targets and governmental repression bodies in the heart of Tehran. Katz said the images illustrating the depth of the damage will soon be released. For every missile fired at the Israeli home front, the Iranian dictator will be severely punished, and the strikes will continue with full intensity. We will continue to act to defend the home front and defeat the enemy until all war objectives are achieved, Katz went on saying. Meanwhile, Iranian media reported that the city of Karaj near capital Tehran has been targeted by Israeli missiles. There have also been reports of one ballistic missile fired from Iran at northern Israeli city. The missile has been intercepted. Overall, 7 or 8 missiles were launched from Iran this morning, with no reports of injuries.
یا میدون سپاه باشه واسه می اومد پایین به قرآن هستن یعنی کجا رو زدن
Fighters and attack drones of the Israel Defense Forces, IDF, have taken up residence in the skies over Iran. Now they are operating in free hunting mode against single targets. Recordings have appeared online showing the operations of Delilha guided missiles designed to combat radars and anti-aircraft systems. The footage shows the destruction of radar stations and the Tor M1 air defense missile system. Israeli aviation continues to carry out intensive strikes on Iran and Tehran in particular. Thus, another television center was recently attacked, after which a large fire broke out. Iranian air defense systems were also operating in other Iranian cities, Tabriz, Bushehr, and Shiraz. Meanwhile, the satellite captured the aftermath of the strike on Iran's heavy water nuclear reactor in Arak. The nuclear reactor was not in use at the time of the attack. The images show that a hole was formed in the reactor dome and several towers and other objects of the complex's territory were also damaged. The strikes were recorded in the area of the cities of Khondab and Arak in the Markazi province in western Iran. A nuclear reactor under construction is located in Khondab, and a heavy water production facility is located near Arak, the industrial capital of Iran. The Khondab nuclear complex near the settlement of the same name has been under construction since 1998. It includes an IR-40 heavy water research reactor with a capacity of 20 milliwatts, which is to replace the outdated Tehran research reactor, as well as a heavy water production facility with a capacity of 16 to 20 tons per year. Before that, the Israel Defense Forces issued an urgent evacuation warning for residents of Iran, including in the cities of Arak and Khondab. Then came the attacks. The facilities in Markazi province have long been a source of concern in Israel, the United States and Europe, as heavy water can be used to produce plutonium, an alternative route to creating nuclear weapons. Earlier, it was reported that the United States and Iran had resumed direct diplomatic contacts amid escalating tensions in the region. In recent days, a series of telephone conversations took place between the U.S. Special Envoy and the Iranian Foreign Minister. These are the first substantive talks between the parties in recent months and the first since the Israeli strikes on Iranian territory.